All right, here we go again. Buckle up, rough roads ahead. So the the doctor said definitely not anything to worry about. Just need to get the MRI. He said your blood pressure is more important to worry about, but it was weird because I'm worried about that MRI, which going to put it up. Doctor's appointment. I got white coat syndrome, and then when I'm sitting there, everybody's coughing. I'm like, oh darn, I don't got a mask on. So I ran out to the car and got the mask, but it was too late. My blood pressure was already up. But I think it's again the attempt to catch it when it's down. Uh, when I went for the surgery again, I don't know because the deep state is so bizarre about all of it. Whether those are real, but I went twice before where they used a regular cuff and they got me relaxed, and they said 130, and that was in the doctor's office, like 130 over 90 or something. But again, with the deep state, you don't know if they're hiding that. But I mean, of course, it showed that it was, that kind of high blood pressure because it went down like in 20 minutes or less. Right. Not down to where it should have been, but that's the problem, and they do that on purpose. It isn't like, oh, that's a mental illness. I mean, their presence causes that. There's no reason to trust them. I go and try to buy a coffee maker in Target in Oklahoma, and they all flood the store, and they come out of the aisles looking at me with weird looks. I mean, anybody that's has real serious mental issues could just run up and hit them. Right? So they know what they're doing, and they're very sick people. But again, if they weren't blocking when I was living over there, I'd have found that place. Right? I saw it, but I didn't get the key because it says orthopedic urgent care. Right. So I am starting to feel better, and I did find out yesterday after the back pumps, if I put my shoes on with the inserts, it all went away. So again, it's still related probably to my feet. And so, just to show you their witchcraft again, I went to Amarillo, paid this money for his chiropractor. So what do you think Hashem wanted to happen at the chiropractor? Wanted me to get shoe inserts. What do you think was on the fritz? Their foot imaging machine. That just shows you the effect of their stalking, no matter what they say they're there for. Well, because that probably would have taken care of it to a certain degree. And theirs actually has an imaging thing that they do. So I would have actually received probably even more accurate custom inserts. And then the massage would have probably worked. And I probably would have never left Amarillo. But again, they're deep stay. Oh, well, who knows if I'd have found an apartment. Right. The fatal error was, again, it'd been nice to have been able to stay in each community and not be harassed. Right. But the fatal error was probably, can I go under with this? Or is it going to, oh, it's taking me in the wrong direction. I have to go the other way. Was not moving into an apartment. But when I'm looking at an apartment in Tyler before COVID, they're willing me down. Again, for some reason, they got that much way over the average person, and they shouldn't. There's no way out of it. They're lying. Right. It's a murder contract essentially, and as soon as you can kill him, you kill him. If you get him to commit a crime, get him to commit a crime. Commit a crime. But whatever you do, don't let him be with people. Don't let him have a life. Right. So just to show you, I didn't bring my license. I checked for my, it's rare that I wouldn't have my license. But I actually had a photo of it on my phone, so I emailed it to her, and that was good enough for that. But again, it's them. That's the effect of their stuff. And of course, if I'd have stayed in massage envy, I never would have left Santa Fe because they wouldn't have interfered and you'd have been married. So what happens is, and again, I'm not looking for somebody that's in a shelter, but I wouldn't marry. I wouldn't see that's they're blocking my what I'm saying. I would marry somebody in a shelter, but again, you have to make sure of the safety of the whole thing. Right? But so I'm in Santa Fe, and I'm not really seeing anybody other than who they present, because again, they're devils, demons, antichrist, witches, and sorcerers. But when I'm on the phone with Monica, back when she used to chat with me, right, I'm seeing women in Santa Fe that I would surely have married who are in predicaments that I could have helped them out of. And again, there's reasons why they couldn't be married, and all of that. Again, STDs are very high, right? And actually, Hashem told me years ago. He said people with HIV can actually get married easier than you because of what they're doing. They just go in an HIV dating group and they get married. But no, the key isn't to get HIV because then I wouldn't be married. And that's half of what they tell everybody, that I have HIV. They were telling people I had HIV, that I was having gay sex on the side. Nobody was seeing where I was going. And they'll say things like, "You never see him at the casino, right? So where's he going?" Well, he's probably healing people. He's probably burning sage or pinyon pine. So they're firing the attorney general of the Navajo. She's a real person, real nice person. She touches you inside, you go stupid. She's probably an angel, most likely, or something like that, or a Kachina or something. Well, this planet's not an honest planet. So, she's an honest person. That's why they get rid of her. Now, they if I talk to somebody, they act like I'm trying to have sex. That was one of their scams too. Right? I just talk to people, find out where they are in life, and give them a good word or give them a hand at something if they need help. That's it. I don't. I mean, if I were to actually meet somebody and over a period of time, right? It's not for sex, and that's for sure. Right. Thank you. There's just a ton of scams that they use. And what they're doing is biding the time in your life to waste it. I knew they were doing it 10 years ago. I knew they 20 years ago. I knew they were doing 25 years ago. It's just you can't, actually 25 years it was less knowledge and awareness, but 20 years ago I realized what they were doing. But you can't get past it because why? It's CIA type stuff. And CIA's been involved. I mean, it's sick. They're absolutely sick people. Again, it came up that they were trying to say I raped somebody as a kid. I mean, they're nuts. So, no good deed, no chivalry goes unpunished in reality. Because I'm a very chivalrous person. Right? Hold door when I was younger, back when you hold doors, I hold door for all the women and young ladies and all that. My wife, I don't think, she ever had to hold the door the whole time we were married, unless she was on her own. Again, they made the decisions, not me. I should have been in massage. I should have been getting my legs massaged and other places. You can't when they do this. Again, they're devils, demons, antichrists, witches, and sorcerers. Well, one of the things Hashem showed me, so they're trying to sexualize me, and it's taking on the form of cucking and all this weird stuff. And if you're into it, fine. Again, voluntary sexuality is your business, not mine. Right. Remember at DHS, they had people there that were doing stuff with coworkers. So people in the public don't stand a chance. So Hashem showed me in clinical psychology, the effects of such sexual abuse. And he said part of it is acting out in violence. So you see. And then when I explained what was going on, all of a sudden the incels show up. And again, they took my stuff with Q and all that. They want me to see, I don't know whether Devin Nunes even knows I exist. That's the quandary of what they've done. They could be passing the information out and getting paid themselves for my information. Or getting credibility within political parties. I just don't have the money, so I ended up running up a bill. I have a 0% credit card for a year, but obviously I'm not gonna get anywhere paying the debt down with I had to buy a new mattress. Right. Got a good deal. Thanks, Amazon. Hopefully, I might, I hope it comes the way it's supposed to. There's some that come messed up. I hate that. Right. It comes deformed. I had one deformed. Amazon took care of me. They said, don't worry about it. Keep it or donate it. We don't care, but you don't have to pay for a deformed mattress. I mean, people really owe me. I mean, the whole nation owes me probably millions, most likely. Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's a person on the planet healed those two kids. Their parents owe me. I mean, that's the way the inside works, really. Right. There's probably not a person in the world that doesn't owe me, based upon your system, all of you. Thank you, Larry. And that's sometimes the trouble that we see on the planet. But again, it's built in. If you become that kind of thing, kind of planet, then your planet starts self-destructing. Now it's Shabbat this evening. If you're Jewish, you might want to light a couple candles. Hashem doesn't care how specific or if you want to be Jewish. Just talk to God. God owns Judaism, not these muckety mucks. Right. God can make you Jewish in a second, believe me. He did it for Queen Sheba and all them, I believe. Right. The version might come out. It's talking about something, and I can't because they're trying to put something else in my head. around it to make it mean something. That's a lot of what they do. Some criminal coming out late at night for something. My daughter sending me a message. I don't know what is that, an I or a one? Sax is my older daughter. Haven't seen that in years. 168. I don't know what that means. Well, we got her a sax. She was playing the saxophone as a kid. I don't know how long she did it, 'cause they kind of threw me out because her mother's said to. And Rick Henry. Rick Henry told them to throw me out. I don't know who else was there. Made contact with my family. What a piece of shit. Yep. Hashem said, time to roll. And I rolled. Hashem's tough on, when you're a kid, Hashem will read you. And if you have the ability to make that decision, then Hashem will hold you to it, even if you're a kid. Hashem being God. Right. I heard some sorries in the mind, but I don't know if it's real. It could be the government. They try to get me to go back to them every so often because they know it'll make a mess of my life. Right. Like the time my mother tried helping them, and then she goes off in the ambulance to the place, and then the chief of police calls me on her phone, and I'm worried about my mother. I'm like, well, she must be calling on her phone, right? So I pick it up, and it turns out to be chief of police of in Pennsylvania, and I'm like, oh, this is not good. Right. First, I was worried, like, as because my ex-wife would be the type to go to prison for life, or just because she loses her mind. Or get it. You got to help, with the kids because your wife is this or that, right? Or she's a victim, right? But she was like star 69ing or something, whatever it is. But she didn't want to pay. Or she want to pay for the calls, or I don't know what she was doing. She probably just mad at my mother. I guess it had nothing to do with paying for the calls. Because my mother would call her, right? Right. She said my mother's calls were harassing. Just my mother's trying to be a grandmother. I told you can't. You know how she is. So her and the Marshal Service representatives got along well for a while until they probably cut her off. Wonder if they gave her money. Probably had sex with her. They used to want to have sex with her. Right. Now I cleared for there was a deputy that called my wife, and then he tried to put it on like he just I forget what he said. I just blew it off. I said, look, don't worry about it. Right. I'm not going to turn you into the sex patrol. I don't know if I don't know if he was breathing heavy. I don't know what he was doing, to tell you the truth. But my wife was like so distraught, and I'm like, ah. No good deed goes unpunished. I'm trying to get that person retired. Again, it may have been a setup. I don't know, because he eventually, like very shortly after that, moved to another office. Right. So again, there was the deep state moving back then. Let me heal this woman. You're too heavy, woman. I'm trying to drop your weight. You weren't that heavy when I moved in. It worked for a couple people already, but not her. My neighbor, it worked for her. She lost a lot of weight. She's a young girl. I can't read her real well, but I thought some people, especially young girls, like if you don't say hi to them all day, they think you hate them. So I was like, what's it? No, the doctor said doctor said, look, it isn't like you got cancer or anything like that. It isn't. It isn't that. It isn't. Oh my God, it's just a little cyst, but you got to go get looked at. Right. So this is what happens. Every so often, I wake up, but it's the system somehow waking me up. So I end up going for all these big tests. They're like people that even go to their family doctor don't get. Like you probably wouldn't get that CAT scan unless you were pretty sick. They couldn't even find it on a colonoscopy. Right. My gosh. No, the system tries to take care of me, but because they're there stalking me, they screw up everything. Right. I still don't know if the woman over at Aventura was real. If she was, I would have loved to have gotten to know her, but it was just too weird. And the apartment number turned out to be the trigger number. So again, if they never started with the trigger numbers, right. But it was on this main road anyway. It was a great deal. It was like a 2-bedroom like I wanted, but it was on the main road. And when you're dealing with the deep state, you don't want to live right on that main road. Right. Come by and snipe you with direct energy. Now, I should have had a great life, and I should have had a great time here. They did what they wanted, man. They'll pay for it in hell. That's all I can say. I mean, I can't be any more honest than I am. Right. Now you're making a mess. I told you to reduce the friction. You're all making a mess. None of it makes any sense. You're all trying to like blame the other person or some shit. It makes no sense. None of it. Primary, everybody primary. Primary the rhino. I told you to reduce the friction. Well, somebody's actually noted that Elon Musk canceled the child cancer research, but didn't cancel the Elon Musk rocket program payments. So again, you're making a mess, all of you. Well, I don't know. I mean, I would have monitored the budget as it was going on if I had a concern over it. Right. But again, put that Matt Gaetz in there. I'll go over to the Capitol building. Say, how bad do you want a budget? I'm just circling the block so I can broadcast, but I gotta go chill. I gotta drop my weight too. It's a little chilly today, but there could be like nice days for walk. What I gotta do is I gotta get that project done so I can clean that front room from all my project materials and then pull out my treadmill and start broadcasting and walking from the treadmill. Right. And I think I even may have had a warranty program with it, and who knows? I haven't used it. Bought it last year. Right. Yeah. Looks like it's nice. So, like, you don't even go through your stages of life because of these people? Nah, I'm not isolating myself. is in I was the most outgoing person in the world, especially for what was going on. So, like here's an example. I get into I'm seriously still injured, haven't healed at all from what happened in Naples, and I'm at uh, kind of like an, like an Indian bistro kind of deal, kind of new agey, but Indian food, right? Pricey. But I'm there and I got like a chai, right? And this woman comes in, and I'm sure she was an agent at this point. So she comes in there, she sits down like real near me, and I said, "Hi, how you doing?" She said, "Hi." And I just made like a small talk, and I'm not picking her up, and I know she doesn't think I'm picking her up because she probably knows everything about me. She's gonna make some bullshit up, right? So I said, "Nice weather, isn't it?" Or something like. She's like, "Oh, that's enough. No way. You're not going to do this." I'm like, "What?" So again, they're trying to make me afraid to speak to people, which shows they know how to do that. So they make every time I speak to a woman a torturous situation. Even with men, they were in on it, right? And they send gay guys after me all day. That's your government, man. Some DHS boss decided he'll be gay. That's it. Well, that person over there has to be trans. So back in the day when DHS, we were around before DHS was created. They're the rookies. So we're back in the day. We had all these people say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go into DHS." I don't know now because I'm still asleep. But eventually, they all come back. I know you don't want to be there. I got no idea what's going on. I just know some local people trying to kill me. I have no idea about the deep state. I have no idea about the inside. So I get to the academy for advanced course, and they're all like, "No, we all came back. You don't want to be there." So I got no idea what it means. But yet, my office was the deep state. So again, it would be like being in DHS back then, and maybe now I don't know what it's like. Again, I'm not in there. I had a lot of questions about them. I had questions about a couple of their officers. Right. Really, timing is everything. They showed up at the wrong time in the right place to operate me. Right. Now, not investigation. It's definitely a CIA level operation that's committing crimes against the victim. Thank you much. Well, there's a lot of questions about a lot of things. Again, they're trying to get me to go with young women. So the theme is because, like, when I grew up, you don't date anybody, maybe one grade lower, maybe one grade higher. That's how you grew. That's how I grew up, right? So they're going, age doesn't matter. But what they're always showing me younger women and older men. So I think that was part of that scam. I mean, they're just sick people, man. There's no way that they should even had 1 year on what they did to me. Right. Like career progression, there was no career. They never designed my career for career progression. Now, I did a lot of work, but again, I had to learn it myself. Like I said, the only person that ever told me anything was probably Matt Burke, and that was still minimal because I think they were like killing him. Actually, they assassinated Matt Burke, but for some reason he was able to resurrect because he got those fugitive squad, I think, in a permanent position. Right. Again, it isn't only me. It's just it happened a certain way with me. Oh well, this thing just popped me into my Wi-Fi. I have no idea if you heard me.